very educated enough to know what to say and what not to say, what's off limits. And Big Perk, you wrong for jumping against your teammate, nigga. I don't like that. Excuse the N-word. But
So it looks like the situation between Stephen A. Smith and Jaylen Brown is becoming more personal as their back and forth continues to make headlines. The latest exchange has sparked even more discussion, especially after comments Stephen A. Smith made on ESPN that many viewers interpreted as a strong response to Brown. We'll get to those remarks in a moment, but first, let's take a look at this new clip of what Jaylen Brown had to say about Stephen A. Smith. If you've been following this story, you already know this isn't the first time these two have traded words. Jaylen Brown has repeatedly criticized ESPN's coverage, and we've covered that before. We also talked about the earlier back and forth between Brown and Stephen A. Smith after the Celtics were eliminated from the playoffs. Around that time, Brown became more active with his own streaming content and didn't hesitate.
Hey, Stephen A., Stephen B., Stephen C., like, my offer still stands.
When that back and forth first started, Stephen A. Smith didn't stay quiet. He responded on ESPN, addressing Jaylen Brown's comments directly and giving his side of the situation. His response quickly became another major talking point, adding even more attention to an already heated.
Brown, be careful what you wish for. You really want me to start reporting on that level? You understand? Locker room? How the organization might think about you? How the city may feel about you? How Jason Tatum may or may not have feel about you? Sneaker deals, endorsement deals, the list goes on and on. The season is over, bro. You on Twitch, trying to do what I do, and talking about me needing to step away. It makes no sense.
Jaylen Brown eventually stopped responding directly, but he has continued making comments that many people see as criticism of both Stephen A. Smith and ESPN as a whole. Rather than turning it into a constant back and forth, he's taken opportunities to question the platform and some of its coverage. That brings us to this latest clip, where Brown appears to address Stephen A. Smith and ESPN once again. Take a look at what he had to say.
ESPN is unethical, and Stephen A. Smith is the head face of that. But, you know, the organization, the players, they were all in agreement. They all knew what I meant by that. Our team was basically salary dumped. You know, we lost a lot of players. And for us to emerge and still be in the same position, we got to start to understand, like, success doesn't always mean.
Getting on my last damn nerves, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, he's so full of shit, I want to throw up. Suddenly, we're unethical because we're telling you how your comments came across. One of your asses in France. You can't deal with the heat here in America and justify the way that you've acted since you got bounced out of the playoffs. Nobody's done anything to you, Jaylen Brown. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I shouldn't even be upset because this should be an indication to you about how small people can become. I'm unethical. I'm the leader. ESPN, the entire network, with all the love the network shows you, we're all unethical and I'm the leader. I didn't know you would come across as that soft, bro. You want to talk about accountability and all of that other stuff? Fine, dog. You're welcome to come on the show. I keep talking about that dungeon you in. I'll show you what a studio's supposed to look like. I got one. You want to talk shit about me? You want to question my ethics or whatever? Name the time and place, bro. You can name the time, but not the place. We're going to do it on my set because I ain't coming to that dungeon. I'll be waiting.
Also, algorithmic social engineering. If I control the technology, I can dictate the market. I'll explain what that means. Michel Foucault, a French philosopher in 1975, in her work Discipline and Punish, talked about panopticism. She based it off of a prison design, right? It was a prison design with a watchtower in the middle of the prison. And this theory was that, like, by putting the watchtower in the middle, the prisoners would police themselves because they're under surveillance. So physical authority has shifted to psychological authority, right? And over time, their behaviors change, and this causes a term she calls dynamic normalization. So in the digital age, the watchtower has transferred. So through technology, through bots, through fake viral clips, fake accounts, you can police platforms and algorithmically influence society with the technology that you can control. The technology that you can control can dictate the market. We see it across various industries all the time. A lot of people have seen some of my quarrels with the media industry. That's kind of the reason why I started streaming. Some of you have seen my stream and going off on Stephen A. Smith. But exactly, but Stephen A. works for ESPN. ESPN is controlled by Disney. Stephen A. doesn't choose the topics. Somebody chooses them for him. His willingness has made him extremely valuable to these companies, but a lot of these companies and corporations, they meet 4 times a year and talk about amongst various industries how they can socially engineer and influence our minds, right, through the technology that they can control without us really even paying attention and even noticing it. Just like the Michel Foucault theory, where I was talking about the watchtower that is policing the prisoners, bots, comments, positive comments or negative comments could affirm whatever agendas that they want to push. They can create the bots, they can control kind of the approvals or disapprovals of what is in society. Another example is kind of like group thinking. If I control a bunch of platforms, or I control a bunch of accounts, or have a bunch of partners that are all in cahoots with me, I can also socially engineer conversations, start trends, kind of create a herd mentality where you think it's natural, but it's all algorithmically engineered to dictate the market. And then the last one I would say is like the digital dopamine. A lot of us are addicted to social media. We don't even know it, right? The rewarding feeling.
It looks like Jaylen Brown's father has also been paying attention to everything that's been happening between his son and Stephen A. Smith. As this story continues to unfold, the discussion seems to be getting more personal. After seeing the ongoing debate, he decided to weigh in as well, reportedly responding after watching a clip of Kendrick Perkins sharing his thoughts on Jaylen Brown.
Nothing about Jaylen Brown's performance on the floor that's got him in trade talks. It's his damn mouth. It's his mouth. It's the streaming. It's the podcast that got them ready to move the needle and get Jaylen Brown out of Boston. As a player in locker rooms, 2008, whether it was with Oklahoma City or whatever it was, I'd be damned if we had somebody in there podcasting. You can't trust them. You can't trust them. The trust factor is gone. We don't know if you're going to say something. We don't know if you're going to break a secret. We don't know if you're going to tell something that we didn't have in the film study. I'm telling you straight up, the things he said after they got bounced about this being the best season was, damn it, basically a shot at Jason.
At that point, Jaylen Brown's father decided to share his own perspective during a radio appearance. His comments quickly caught the attention of fans who had been following the ongoing discussion. I want to play that clip first so you can hear exactly what he said, and then I'll come back afterward to break it all down and share my thoughts on the situation.